Hello everyone, welcome to chapter 51 on my RLDR Custom Creations YouTube channel. And have we got something special for you today? Top secret today. I made some changes to a very good tool. My vari-grind is now different. Come and watch and I'll show you what I did. So, why am I cutting up, welding, and grinding on a perfectly good vari-grind jig? Well, I have a bit of a story for you. It happened on, that would have been one of the last, in fact, the last Hub City Turner class that I hosted here in either the end of April or beginning of May. Anyway, had a young lady, and she's a good turner. Hadn't sharpened much using the vari-grind system. This is the grinder that I was using at the time, and then I'll use it for demo today. She loaded her tool, bowl gouge, in the jig, and this is the original knob that comes with it, and the knob is always quite close to the framework of the jig itself. And I've had trouble tightening it as well. And there have been times when I've been sharpening and it's come loose. So anyway, she's sharpening and it comes loose. And what happens is, I'm just going to try to give you a little bit of a visual here. This is too far away. Okay, so she's sharpening and she's going back and forth like this, and it slides out, it comes away from the wheel and turns at the same time. And what happened to her was that it made, let's put it this way, it made a noise in the shop that I noticed it. As far as what happened to her gouge, I'm just going to draw the damage here. It basically took out that where it's black, that it basically cut out of her bowl gouge. What distressed me more, and no, she didn't get hurt, but it was one of those kind of near misses that kind of sets you back on your heels a little bit. And she was a little bit shaken from that experience, and I didn't like that, because turning's supposed to be fun. You're not supposed to be taking your life into your hands, even though you are working with equipment that can at times be potentially dangerous. It needs to be set up in a way so it's not. So I hemmed and hawed for quite a while. It's July now. I had this idea. I've been through, jeepers, 4 or 5 different versions of this idea. But I never started on anything because I wasn't sure I had the right one. And I'm still not 100% sure, but I'm going to start. So what I'm going to do, oh my goodness, I'm setting things down and not knowing where they are today. So I went out and spent $30 on this really nice Irwin clamp. And I'm going to take and I'm going to cut this part off. And I'm going to put it in there like that, and I'm going to weld it in. And this tightens nice and tight. It's got a good big handle on it. And I'm going to see how that handle works. It might be too long. I don't think I would have a problem sharpening with it. And if you're confident your tool is going to stay in place, then I think you can bring your other hand in to help a bit. But I think it's going to be okay. If not, well, then I'll keep working on the idea until I get it right. So Yeah, I was a little not confused, but a little. I was disappointed that it happened to her. There was nothing that we could have done anything about. But I think my vari-grind is getting a little long in the tooth, and but probably the threads weren't as good as they should have been. And I probably will buy another new one anyway, because I'm sure that there'll be people that won't trust my engineering. But I'm going to try to give this a go. But I like the way this tightens, and it's really positive. This has a plastic foot on it as well. And I took it off now to see if I can get it through the hole that I've already drilled in here. So I'm not shooting this in the order that I'm working on it. So I might have to make some changes to that hole yet. But anyway, that's what's going to happen today. I'm going to take another perfectly good piece of equipment and cut it up and hopefully make it better than it was. So hope you can watch the whole video. Well, it may strike you as a little bit odd that all my woodworking projects always involve a little bit of welding. Uh, I guess I came to the conclusion many, many years ago that in order to make changes and to modify things made of metal, it was pretty important to be able to weld. So thankfully, I had to learn to weld to teach industrial arts. So that was an added bonus of me getting that job. So anyway, I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. And I got to bring you a little closer for that. On this vari-grind, there's two holes in the top here that I need to fill, because the piece that I'm putting in, this part here, this foot here is exactly an inch, and that has to fit in there. So that means that center of that hole needs to be there. And it's a 7/8 hole, and it won't quite cover this one neither. So I'm going to fill the holes with weld, grind that off, and then I'm going to drill a hole there and weld this in. So seems simple. Let's do it. Okay, so we're in position. I've got you guys zoomed in nice and close, so I'm just going to put my gloves on, and we're going to do a little bit of welding here. We'll give it a little bit of weld here. I want to see if my heat settings are about right. Hopefully they'll work for this. Okay, here we go. Nope, we're too low. Let's try that. Gas? Do we have gas? Yes, we have gas. Okay. And let's try that again. That's running better. I think I can live with that. Got a little bit of spatter down at the bottom. We'll have to grind that out. Okay, let's close the little guy. Okay, let's see how we did. Got to look at the bottom of it. And that means, moving the tripod. Okay, here we go. I'm going to weld a little bit from the bottom yet to get all the way through. Burn that off. That way the threads that I run will, don't know if you'll be able to see this, but if not, maybe I'll just edit it out. I'm not sure. Okay, let's give it a whirl. Okay, a little bit more here. There, like it. Okay, there it is. It's welded up. Now we got to grind it flat, remark it, and drill the hole. Then we'll do some more welding a little later. Okay, well, I did all the grinding off camera because I didn't think you needed to see that. I did the top on my 8-inch grinder. It's not for sharpening, it's just for general grinding. 8-inch wheel on one side, fairly coarse abrasive, and a wire wheel on the other side. And then the inside, I have a die grinder with a burr that did a fairly nice job. And I've advanced another step off camera, and I've made the center punch mark for the hole that I'm going to start to drill. Just going to bring you in a little closer here. See, there's the center point I've got marked. This worked out really nice. The inside even ground out better than I thought. So this is looking pretty good. I would love to drill this hole in my drill press, but this doesn't fit. I don't have a way to clamp it properly and use a drill press, so I am going to use my cordless drill, and we're going to start with, I think this is about a 1/4 inch. And, oh, where'd it go? I normally have my cutting fluid here, and it appears to be gone. So well, WD-40 it is. I have better cutting fluid around here someplace, but I started cleaning off my engine lathe a while ago, and I had it on there, and I put it somewhere, and I can't find it. I really need to do some cleanup in here. Things are getting just way out of control. But anyway, we're going to keep forging ahead here. We're going to give it a little bit. Not sure how sharp this drill bit is, but hopefully, oops, don't need a hammer drill. Ooh, I was not expecting that. Okay. Oh, boy, that went through quickly. I was simply not expecting it to go through quite that easily. These are Bosch drill bits that I'm using. This set is pretty much, I've used it for quite a while, and I've broken quite a few of the bits already. But when I find a good set of bits at a good price, I always buy more than one case, so I can keep using them. So anyway, this I think is about 3/8. So here we go. Okay. Boy, I can't believe how good these bits are cutting. I really don't like drilling holes already, because usually when I try to drill a hole, the drill bit's way past its prime, and I'm left with smoking my way through. So, okay, here we go again. We're going to give it just a little bit. Now, I don't know if I really need it. Oh. I think my battery is just about done too. Oops. There we go. That's that. Okay, that's 1/2 inch. For this, I need to get this part here to drop in, and that's about 7/8. So I'm just going to keep on going, but for this I have to get another set of bits out. 11/16 first. I don't think these bits are as good as what I was using. I guess we'll find out pretty quickly though. My drill is just about done too. And I think that's it. Okay, that's that hole. And I'm going to take a little bit of a break here. I'm going to go get my digital caliper and reload the drill battery. And I'll bring you back when we're ready to drill, I think, the final time. Okay, so I didn't need to show you that. But now comes the part I've been dreading. I have to take this really, really, really nice clamp. In fact, it's the best clamp I own. And I need to cut this off. But hopefully it's for a good cause. Let's see. Let's put this in like that. I've got my cutting disc ready. Hopefully that's going to work. Might have a little trouble getting in here though. And I'm going to cut it. Oh, okay. I'm going to cut it just a wee bit bigger because I'll grind it to fit into the hole. So here goes. I guess I can't take this clamp back after this. Not sure how I feel about that, but I have this piece, and now I have this piece. So, I don't know, I figured out some way to use it because, like I say, it is the best clamp I had in the shop. All right, so then this will go in like that. And I'm going to grind this a little bit. I went a little bit downhill, or that off to the left here, but I think that's going to work. I'm going to grind it, get it to fit in here, clean all the paint off of it, and then we're going to break out the welder and we're going to weld it. What I did is I'm going to maybe come a little bit closer for this. I used a flap disc, actually that 80 grit flap disc that I had in my angle grinder worked fairly well. it ticked this off nicely. So I cut a ledge right about there, and I'm going to slide this in till that ledge. You can see that. Now what I have to do is I think that's going to give me enough in the bottom here that if I want to tack it, I can. I'm not sure if I'm going to yet or not. See how the top goes. I think I'm going to weld this in. I think I'm going to get this welded in fairly quickly here. The biggest concern for me now is getting this welded in and having it perfectly straight up and down. Because if I get it off at an angle, that's going to be bad. I'm going to have to cut it and redo it. But if I can get it straight like that, it looks pretty good from this side, then I think that's going to be good. I think putting it at that ledge gets the clamping mechanism enough out of the way that my biggest my biggest bowl gouge will go in here. I have a 5/8. So I think that's going to work, and I can still get a little bit more here. So, like I say, I've never done this before. We'll see how this works. But I do like the grip, and I think that's going to help. Well, the welder's all set up, and I'm kind of set up here, ready to go. Maybe one thing that's worth mentioning, I know for what will eventually become primarily a woodworking channel, I run my MIG welder quite a bit. So, but for welding, I was very frustrated. I couldn't find the right combination. So in the end, I've been using this for a while, and of all the things I've tried, this has worked the best. I have, these are 2-power readers. This is a better pair, so I paid a little bit more for them, but they basically take the place of a cheater lens that you can put in your helmet. Now, a cheater lens, for those of you who don't weld, is a magnifier like this that you put in your helmet. And some people like those. I tried them, they just didn't work for me. So what I'm going to, but another thing, I have my helmet shade set very, very light. I don't weld much, and yeah, I may be damaging my eyes, but I've done this for 30 years now, and my eyes aren't any worse off than they would be normally. So right now I'm welding at a filter 8.5. So I really like this helmet. Another thing that helps for vision is the big window. So I like the big window with the auto shade, and this has worked out well for me. So if you're getting in your senior years and you want to continue welding, this might work for you. But it certainly has for me. So anyway, I'm going to start suiting up here. Okay, let's give this a shot. And I also like to sit. I think I have better control if I'm sitting. That looks good that way. Okay, here we go. I'm going to try this, so here we go again. Hey, that almost looks like I know what I'm doing. The other thing about the MIG that I'm running, I have gas. So, okay, not that way. My MIG runs with gas. And for the typical homeowner, like if you want to be a carpenter welder like I've become here, I think what I'd recommend is a cheap little 110 MIG that ran flux core wire, no gas. I'm a little more serious about welding. In fact, it may come down to it that if I'm teaching classes this next year, I have a student already that's expressed an interest in welding. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that in here yet, or maybe outside, I'm not sure. But so this is an industry quality MIG. It's a light industrial, so it's a 250 amp MIG. I can run spray transfer with it, because this was one of the ones, this was the first big welder that I bought for the school. So that's in the days when I was in control of equipment. And it's a Miller, so you'll get parts for it all over the place. It's not cheap to run that way, but I got a great deal on it. I think I only paid, was it $500 or $700? I forget which one. But I didn't pay much for it. And yeah, but if you're just going to do stuff like this, a 110 with flux core wire would work just fine. And you have no gas contract, or you don't have to buy cylinders. You can use small rolls of wire that like places like Princess Auto and PV Mart sell. So you don't have to be set up like this. This is the way I like it, but this isn't necessary. So you could add a little welding area in your shop and not take up the amount of room that I have. I never plan on having a metal lathe, a plasma cutter, and welding equipment in my shop. That was never in the plan when I designed this. And yeah, but because of timing with the school shop, I managed to acquire some of that equipment at spectacular prices. So I have it, and it's fun to have. Like, I can do stuff like this, and look at that. Ooh, I like that. Okay, I think that's all for now before I start teaching a welding lesson here. I think I've got it done. I decided not to paint this at all. I kind of took my flap disc and kind of took some of the white paint off, and I don't know, it looks good enough for now. The only thing that I did is the handle is a little pointing back into the jig like that. This is a little out, but it's not bad. I have to admit, I've been grinding on the old high speed, and my trusty old bowl gouge with a big heavy steel handle, and I really like the way it works. Now, had I, in a perfect world, this would maybe be a little bit shorter. And I'm not sure if that's going to get cut off and changed yet. I think I'm going to use it like this for a while, see how I like it. As I said earlier in the video, this is no way a reflection on the quality of One-Way's stuff. My jig was getting old, and the threads probably weren't as good. Well, in fact, they weren't as good. When I took it apart, I realized that. So, you know, not wanting to say that their stuff is garbage. Like, in fact, I'll probably buy another one, because people won't want to use this because it's changed. But anyway, just to show you what I like about it. So here's my 1 3/4 block. We'll set that on there like that. Slide it up, and it's tight. You can feel it. It's in there really solid. Something I could never do with this little handle and my hand. So this is maybe as much for me as it is for the maybe younger students that I have coming in here. Not implying that women aren't as strong or whatever, but a lot of ladies just don't have the big hands and that grip that often older turners have, or even middle-aged turners, whatever. So this works really good. It's a very positive lock. You can get your whole hand on it. For me, I really like it because this is in here. Can you see this? This is where the strength of my hand is now because of my modified fingers. So I like it that I can grab it and get my little finger around it. So I love this. This works great. Now, there are a couple of limitations, which whenever I design something, you always run into little limitations. So let's crank up the grinder, and I'm going to show you what I mean. Love that high speed. So I'm just going to get in here so you can see, and I'm kind of grinding for the camera, but I actually like being able to control like this, but I hit the grinder motor on that side. Is that a problem? I don't think so, because I'm already grinding high up on the wing, and this is really swept back now, so I don't think that's a problem. I like this because, mind you, when I'm grinding on the right side of the tool, then I like to hold here. That wheel needs to be surfaced too. But when I'm on the other side, then I don't see, if I was grinding like this, you know, I like holding on to the top, just putting my fingers on it. So, is this a modification for everybody? I don't know. I wanted to try it. It's very simple to do if you have access to a welder. If you don't have access to a welder, I'd have to think a bit to see if there'd be another way to attach these two pieces. But like I said earlier, if you're at all serious about doing little modifications to things, or you want to play with welding a little bit, but you don't want to spend a lot of money, I would say that a little MIG, a little 110 volt MIG that would run flux core wire would have been able to do this. So you don't necessarily need to have a MIG like I have, or newer. This one would have been new in the mid-90s, so it's 30 years old. They've come a long way in 30 years. So, but I love it. It's a great welder. I like it. I've got some history with it, so that's why I appreciate it even more. Another question, do I usually sharpen with my handles on? Actually, I do. I don't like fiddling with wrenches, and I'm used to the weight, so I just turn with it. But on and off, really quick, really easy. If I had it to do over again, like I said, maybe a shorter, like this could all be shorter. You could probably make this thing only about that tall if you really wanted to. Like there's extra thread here. What I was looking for with that Irwin clamp was the foot. I liked that foot. It was nice and wide. It's attached, I think, fairly well. And it holds the tool really well. Now, I didn't want to cut this off and sacrifice this nice handle either. But what you could possibly do is shorten this, cut it, and epoxy on a shorter wood handle with a little more circumference, so like somebody with a rect hand like me can grab it a bit more easily. But I could always sharpen with the jig the way it was, and like I say, I'll probably buy another new one for when we do classes, so that people don't think they have to use my inventions here. But for those who are don't have the hand strength they used to, maybe it's arthritis or whatever, they can hold the turning tool, but again, that grip movement isn't something they can do. I think that's all I've got for you on this video. I've wanted to do this for a long time. I never had the nerve to wreck a perfectly good clamp, and then here I took and cut, I would say, the nicest clamp that was in this. But I think I'm going to use this. To me, the sacrifice was worth it, because now I know when I lock this tool in, it's in. So, but it's early. I haven't used it a lot yet, and I will, from now on, when I sharpen a tool, I'm going to use this one. I hope you enjoyed this. With this and with that in mind, that brings us to the end of this video. Please remember to like and subscribe. Eventually, I'd really like to make this into something that would reward me a little bit for the time that I spend putting these videos together, and that would be wonderful. So Also, I think the bathroom build, yeah, I'm gonna do a video or two on it yet. There'll be a, maybe when it's finished, there might be a finished kind of video, and probably an accounting video, if I get my wife to help with that one. Those two yet, but I think if you're interested in the bathroom build, I've noticed my Instagram postings have been shaky the last month or so. I used to post just about every day, and now the last post I made was a week ago. So I'm gonna start putting more of the bathroom content on Instagram, so if you're interested, head to my Instagram account, which is also RLDR Custom Creations, and follow that build there if you're interested. So, like I said, this brings us to a close. Please like and subscribe. And this is middle of the week. We'll see you on the weekend for sure with something. I don't know with what yet, but we'll figure something out. Okay, take care. See you in the weekend.